Let's move on to the BostonSportsJournal.com member question of the day. For $39.99, 11 cents a day on their annual plan, not only do you get top-notch analysis of all the Boston pro sports, but if you're a Patriots junkie, membership at BSJ gives you access to a ton of video analysis Bedard does on the coach's film and direct access to him in weekly chats. Laura has a question for you, Greg. So I'm a little
Laura's
confused.
one of our best members. She's always peppering me with questions. Good
They
ones,
love you,
too.
Laura. They love you. So, Greg, I'm a little confused about why the Patriots wouldn't want to do a deal with Carolina for Bridgewater if neither Jimmy G nor, I like the neither nor, good job, presumably Minshew ever shook free. I mean, Bridgewater might look like the second coming of Johnny Unitas compared to Cam Newton.
Yeah, and that's something that we didn't get to, so now we get to it in the question, which is the offshoot, which is I think there's a report that Bridgewater's been given permission to seek a trade.
Yes. Yep.
And, would the Patriots have interest? I think the Patriots would have interest probably once they see what happens with the draft. Maybe they don't take one in the first round. Maybe the guy maybe somebody jumps up and takes the apple of their eye, whether it's Kellen Mond or, Davis Mills if that's even his first name. I'm not even sure. But but say somebody jumps up and takes them and they don't get the guy that they want. I don't think they're going to panic. And maybe they look at Teddy Bridgewater and say, all right, well, we can have a competition with Cam. And at least, Cam might be able to handle that a little bit more better than sitting behind a youngster or, what have you. But number one, Bridgewater has to change his contract. I mean,
Yep.
there's no way in hell they're bringing him for $17 million this year and $20 million next year. He's got to take the Cam Newton deal. Like it'll be like the tight ends, like Johnny Smith and Hunter Henry. Like, yeah, we'll sign both of you, but you're both taking the same deal, other than Henry's, 1 year shorter. And so that works out. But look, here's the deal with Teddy Bridgewater. And I love Teddy. Teddy was a guy I did a Sports Illustrated story on when I was there. When he was coming out, I went to watch him play in person and talk to a lot of people around the Louisville organization. I love Teddy's intangibles, and he is a great leader. Teammates respond to him. He studies like nobody's business. He's great. He's just very limited athletically, and he's very limited as a thrower. And he's especially, Nick, and this is the key part to this. He's limited physically in how well he can operate the Patriots system. Like the Patriots system is a lot of quick decisions, quick throws, what have you. Teddy's more of I almost equate him to, he's more like Chad Pennington, sort of like, not great arm strength and sort of, lob the ball down the field into places. And that works for some schemes. It just doesn't work in the Patriots horizontal schemes. Like in the Patriots scheme, you're trying to open up openings horizontally and then pick them apart.
Right.
And Teddy just, it just doesn't fit. He makes decisions fine, but it's just his arm and quick twitch ability just, doesn't translate well to the Patriots. And people, well, how much worse can he be than Cam? I get it. And I tend to agree with the Patriots on this topic. They would rather go with Cam year 2 than bring in another quarterback for another year 1. I frankly agree with them. And that's led to my meltdown last year about Alex Smith. Because I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. And this was before Cam sort of fell off the table. Like, really, if people want to get serious about this, Cam threw about the middle of the season, maybe a little bit further. Cam was an average NFL starting quarterback for most of the season. And then he sort of fell off a table. Now, why that happened, I don't know. And that needs to be addressed. But I'm not going through, at least Cam Newton knows how to get to Gillette. At least he knows somewhat of the offense. At least he knows some of the players that he's throwing to. All right, maybe just Jacoby Myers. But, in Doughboy or whatever the hell anybody's name is. Whatever he said in that podcast. We got Doughboy. We got Mama's Boy. We got, so I don't, he has his nicknames. But the Patriots just don't want to go through that again. I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to get into week 4 and hear people say, well, he didn't have much practice time and he doesn't really know his team. No, No, I'm not doing that again. I'm just not. So I'd rather go with Cam Newton and Jarrett Stidham and a draft pick than have anything to do with Teddy Bridgewater. At least with Minshew and Garoppolo, I know that there's an upside. There's no upside to Teddy Bridgewater. He might be a little bit better, but I'm not wasting freaking time for that little bit better. I'd rather spend the time trying to make Cam better, and I think that's where the Patriots are.
Here's the biggest takeaway from everything that's happened over the past couple of weeks. San Francisco, Miami trade, Philly, Miami trade, of course, the trade yesterday involving Sam Darnold. The Patriots today, in my eyes, have a much better chance to upgrade their quarterback room than they might have had just a few days ago. And some people see it opposite. They think they have less options. I don't, because I think the guys that the Patriots have been looking at are on the board and teams are dropping off. And I think that's good news for the Patriots. I think if you want them to upgrade their quarterback room, again, they've got options. Jimmy G, Teddy B, one or two of the rookie quarterbacks that are seen as first round picks could drop to 15 to them. They have other options in the second round as well with, Mills and Mond if one of those quarterbacks are their guy. So if you want the Patriots to upgrade their quarterback room, they'll have the opportunity to do so. Whether or not Belichick feels like they need to, that inevitably is the question that needs to be answered.